make a point, draw shapes heading into that direction, flat square, points, points, flat, flat, flat. Flat shape, point, point, flat, flat. Yeah. Then just have all these shapes tumbling smaller and smaller to a point. Fill in a bar with big shapes and little shapes. Big, little, 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 little. Little, 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 little. Big, 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 little, 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 little. Big, 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 little, 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 little. Carve it up however you want. Stroke, 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 stroke. Stroke, 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 stroke. Ah, what an exercise. Oh, let's do it on angle now. Oh, angle here, angle there, angle there, angle there, angle there. Angle there, angle there, angle there. Don't turn the page like, Just do, Ooh, I'm twisting my arm in all these different directions. Working out that arm. Shape, straight, down, carve it around. Point all these little shapes and just like dash, 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 dash. Oh, now it's in 3D. Dash. Oh, 3D shape. You make a flat into a 3D shape. Flat triangle, dash, 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 carve, carve, carve. Make a shape, put all these little dashes around it to be like, oh, I'm cutting through the middle of it. Here's the middle line of this shape, and then just like swirl, 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 swirl. Ah, now you can feel how 3D it is. As you're doing these like swirls around, you start feeling like, ah, yes, I'm starting to understand how to feel this little shape in 3D. Swirly swirl, line down the middle, and then once you do that, you can start actually turning in like these slices like fully all around, and then just start putting things in there. You can put in hearts, you can put in wires, you can put in guts, you can stuff whatever you want inside there. I liked putting in goo. Then you take those 3D shapes and you start putting them like on each other and start thinking like, well, I'm starting to think this shape and this shape and this shape are cut into each other right around here. This is where this square meets this square, generally speaking. Like you put in like, shape, shape, and then like you do a hard line of like, oh, no, we cut in right around, well, that one's bad, but cut around right around here. That's where really dig into each other. And then like, yeah, start getting better at it. Over here, we started thinking like, very few lines, working on dash marks, and then like just start getting denser and denser and denser with those lines. Like think like very hard, like swirly swirl, but then lighten up on that swirl till it gets like, let's indicate it a little less, fewer marks, fade out, press less on your pen. Just like, oh yeah, I'm making that little hard mark, and then just like spread out further and further, thinking like, all right, I'll start thinning out, lesser lines, smaller circles, yeah. Just like less, bigger, smaller. Yeah. And that was just like a practice comic. Don't worry about it. And then you just like start looking at bones, looking at plants and bugs. Actually, preferably, I think I did this backwards. Yeah, I did this backwards. Okay, don't worry about that. Okay, what you do here is basically just look at a plant and just think like, what shape is this? It's a tube, right? Then you just like swirl, 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 marks, 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 like we were doing earlier. You just like break down whatever you're looking at into circles. That's a big circle. And then and like a tube, and a square. And then you just start making those little dash marks like I showed you earlier. And just start fade, 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 fade. Yeah. Break down a waterfall into like square, square, little triangle there. Yeah. Circle, circle, circles. Fade, 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 fade. Yeah. Yeah. Circles. Fade, 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 fade. Small to big, big to small. Fade away. Because the more you fade away from a point, the more it's not like the main focus. This is like where the eye should be. Yeah. More detail, the more focus on. Yeah. Just like look at non-moving objects. It could be a freaking fire hydrant if you want. It's just like, okay, we're gonna just like turn this cactus into tubes and shapes and stuff. Tubes and shape. And then you go from plants, flowers, items, and start looking at more complex things like bugs, insects. Turn those little shapes and tubes onto like bigger animals. Look at those circles. Yeah, see? It's just like bwah, bwah, And then cactus actually became a little critter. And start combining them. And like you can like do general shapes and then like start making like detail more focused in areas. Like, alright, so this is like the part where you can still see where it's still general shapes. And then as you go more towards here is like where you spend the most time having your focus on making more detail, more detail, more detail. Or just like detail to lesser detail. Yeah, not every time you do it, it's gonna be a winner. It's just gonna be like, nah. But eventually, you start getting the hang of it. You know what I mean? Cool.